Well, hello everybody again. You know, I've never talked to you this year or whatever about our garden here in Oregon. The weather has changed so much starting last year and this year that here, ever since we bought the place and we started raising a garden in 1995, we always planted our plants out. We always got them out because it's always cooler here, and then also the rain. We have an awful lot of rain, and so, but usually we get everything out in at least in May. We usually get things planted, and sometimes we plant the cold weather things back in April, and then we always wait till the warmer weather, and then maybe in June, the 1st of June, whatever, then we always plant our tomatoes and our cucumbers and our squashes and things, and their peppers and things that are the warmer weather plants. Well, to tell you the truth, I entered the fair, and I won more prizes, and they said, of anyone that has ever entered the county fair here in Eugene. And every year I would win more money and more, and I've got my blue ribbons. One of these days I could show you books and books and stacks of pictures and my blue ribbons and my special. I won special certificates saying the best of all around garden, the best all around tomatoes, the best of this, the best of peppers, the best of squash, the biggest and I always won more ribbons on the biggest vegetables, because one year we entered our cabbage and it weighed, the one that I took to the fair was 36 pounds. That was my cabbage. We grow some big giant cabbages. So anyway, but last year and this year we planted the giant cabbages, but the biggest one, not the biggest one, but the biggest one's still out in the garden, and it will last. And you know, those big cabbages will go through freezes and everything else. I mean, they'll last forever, and they stay good. But the biggest one that we have cut and everything has been 15 pounds this year. So for the cabbage. But our tomatoes, talk about, you know, our county fair always is in the middle of August, and every year that the fair has come up, I've had the biggest tomatoes, the heirloom tomatoes, you know, the ones that weighs 2 pounds or more. Yeah, I had 2-pound tomatoes just all over the place, and nobody could believe it, and they called me the tomato queen around here for several years. And anyway, I had the little tomatoes of all shapes and sizes, and the other medium size, and then the other just little ones that you can and everything, you know. And the big heirloom is a great big slicers that you could slice off one of my tomatoes and it would more than cover a slice of bread if you wanted it on a sandwich. But I tell you what, and you know, this is when last year in the springtime or whatever is when I started losing my breath, and I couldn't do as much, you know, with the garden, but I got out and I did all I can. And we have sold our vegetables and our tomatoes, and we've taken down to the mission here and give the vegetables away to the mission and stuff, and we sold them, and we got quite a following of people buying tomatoes, and I only sell them for 75 cents a pound. I started out selling them 50 cents a pound, and I raised them 2 years or 3 years ago to 75. I'm not going to raise them any higher. Times are too rough and tough. And anyway, I'm just saying that by the time the fair came, I had all kinds of ripe tomatoes, and Ron and I was canning tomatoes back in July, and we had little ripe ones by 4th of July, And by the end of July, we were canning them and doing all kinds of things. And last year, when the fair was going to come, Biddle, I wasn't feeling too good, but they said, Etta, do you feel like, are you going to enter things in the fair this year? I says, enter what? I mean, we didn't have a ripe tomato. I mean, we had some little bitty tiny, the tiniest ones was getting some ripe, but not the medium or the heirloom or anything else. I says, no. I says, because I was always so proud of the tomatoes is what I was always proud of. I was proud of the other things, but tomatoes is the best. And I said, no. And I really don't feel like it, but I guess if all my tomatoes and things like that was, maybe I would have. But this year has even been worse, because we started canning tomatoes by the end of August last year. That when they start coming on, they came on and we was canning tomatoes. We don't even have it. Here it is September. We hardly even have. We have gotten just a very few, and some of our customers has come by, but it's all that we can use and our family can use, and we have sold very little tomatoes. Now the squashes, and now my peppers are coming on, the nice big bell pepper and stuff, but anyway, that's why I said the garden is just not like, the weather has really changed here. And you know, everybody tried to die. Here I was wanting warm weather. In July this year, we were building a fire out there in our wood stove of a morning, just enough to get the chill off of the house. And you know, I mean, in July, building a fire to get the chill off the house. Oh well, that's how the weather has changed here. And here I was looking back at the Midwest in Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, even down in Arizona and Texas and some of those places. Here it was over 100-degree weather, way up over 100-degree. And some of my family and friends that lived back there, they were just sweltering to death, you know. Here I was wishing we'd have, and finally we had a couple of days of 80, and then it turned cool again. And then all at once, we had about 2.5 weeks or so ago, we had about 2 weeks from 80, and it did get up to 90-some degrees here, and people nearly died. I mean, you know, I said, well, it's good for the garden. I mean, hey, maybe that's when some of our tomatoes really started ripening, when it turned. And that only lasted even a couple of weeks. I thought maybe it'd stay on, you know. But here, about 4 or 5 days ago, it turned off cool again. And it's been cloudy and overcast, and we've been getting up as high as 60-some degrees because it's all cloudy and overcast and everything. And then today we got up, it was 47 out there in the morning, but you know, we got up to 82 today. I don't know how. Now outside there, it's still about 80 degrees out there, and it's 7:30, and it's still. But in the morning, in the morning, they're supposed to be down, it's supposed to be 50 or so, but they said that we wouldn't get up over just in the 70s tomorrow. And it said we're going to have 2 good days. And then it's back to cloudy and coolness. Cool's coming in again. I don't think our garden is ever going to do, our tomatoes is ever going to do anything this year. I'm hoping. But this has been a very boring talk about my garden, but I'm just telling you that this is what's going on, and just telling you how the weather has changed here. And this has been a very unusual weather back in the Midwest, or mid-country, or whatever, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, and then through there. It's been 100 degrees and way over 100 before back there, because I remember as a child living back there it did, you know. And then when we was in Louisiana it did, but it didn't go for no 2 months like it has this year without it stopping. But anyway, this is my boring talk about my garden. So I guess I'll hush and say goodnight to you. Bye.